I was built for it. Everything I got, I worked for it. Would've killed for it. I've been through so many ups and downs, and I'm still going. Most of my niggas signed gun laws, and they still.
What's up, y'all? You know, Miss Boss checking in. We here at the Beauty and Hustle. Y'all already know what's going on. The beauty is in the journey, but we got a special guest today.
Yes, sir.
And I'm so happy to have him here today.
Yeah.
Let him know who in the building.
What up, y'all, man? My name's Shado. You know what I mean, Tyre. That's my big sis, man. We've been locked in for some time, man.
You know what I'm saying? A real long time.
Yeah.
To the wheels, you know?
Straight up.
You know? So, yeah, we going to dive into some
Hold
real...
on. Yeah, we got to cut that out. I'll call Tyre my big sis. We got to go back. I can't have... I can't have that. This is my little sis, yo. But she been doing big things, though, man. The little big one. Don't forget it. She been doing hella big shit. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nah, for sure. It's nothing but love, Tyra. But, yeah, you
Straight
know.
up.
It was much needed. We had to come here and, you know, get some things out.
Yeah, let it out. Because today we finna let it out. You hear?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We gonna go ahead and dive in. Only true stories, real life shit over here. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna go ahead and dive in. So, Shado, I'm gonna start off diving in just with an opening. What does strong mean to you today versus what you were taught growing up?
Ooh, see, that's a good one. You know, see, strong today, it comes more from like being able to, being able to just provide or just, you know what I mean, who look like they done got something going on versus strong back then is actually having to be through like the trials and tribulations and having to struggle more than like what we understand struggle is today. I feel like you could be considered strong by, you know, like by different measures, you know what I mean? And not saying one is better than the other. It's just we coming from two different times and eras now.
Yeah,
like,
straight up.
you know, the man was told back then that strong was just going out there, making money for the family, coming in and shutting up, just keeping everything else to yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you ain't talking to the kids about, you know, what's going on at school. You talking to them, hey, come eat, these chores done, and then repeat the thing the next day. It just became a cycle every day, day in, day out, the same thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, I feel like now strong is a little bit different. You could express yourself a lot more than what you could back then as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely agree. In this day and age, too, I feel like you have to have a tougher skin when it comes to
for sure. With social media and everything else out there right now, and you know, just being able to be embarrassed or your face or your image just being put out there is a lot different from back in the day, even from when we grew up. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And that's just, you know, the 2010s and stuff like that. Like you could hear about something, but it wasn't just all recorded. It wasn't just always somebody putting out a phone and putting you out here, you know. So that's a big difference now with social media. I do feel like these kids nowadays are having to be a lot stronger social-wise, you know, from a social standpoint for sure.
I agree, for sure. It's a different age we live in, so that's why it's best with these new kids. You got to structure them a little different than we was.
Than what we was, for sure. You got to let them know. You got to build them for this stuff. Build them for the internet. Let them know. Bullying, you know, bullying us is a completely different sign of what bullying is today.
Yes.
And we really overlooked it because it was like, shit, somebody bullying, that just means you go scrap, you fight or whatever. Or the bully was just the biggest, toughest person that was in the school. Yeah. It wasn't like no cyber bullying and everybody has access to a phone to be a bully behind a phone, basically.
Right.
You know? It was different back then what it is now.
Now, we're going to jump into this here. When was the first time you realized you were struggling mentally, but still felt like you had to keep going?
Man, see, my first time struggling mentally, and I feel like I had to keep going, had to be when I was like around 15, 14. You know what I mean? I was real young. It was in high school, and I was transitioning from like that middle school to high school area. You know, my mom, you know, she was pretty, you know, strung out when I was growing up on drugs and stuff. You know, shout out to mom. She is all the way together now. So let's start off by that, you know. But growing up, it was different. You know, she lost custody of all my brothers and my sisters and shit. So, and I was right there at that age, so to where I beat it. I didn't have to go into the state custody and all that. So mentally, it was just hard on me, just knowing that I was the oldest and I just couldn't physically do anything to stop that. You know, I just wasn't old enough, wasn't prepared. And I went in there like, shit, I am. Like, give them to me. I'll figure it out. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, we'll get this together and we'll figure it out. But it was just, now looking back on it, I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for no situation like that. But that's what I'll say would be the first time where that stuff really got to messing with me. And it was like more just keeping it bottled in versus being feeling like I could express it to anybody.
Do you feel like being in that position, it made you grow up faster? Like you had no choice but to grow up fast and not really enjoy your young days?
For sure. I definitely feel like it made you do that, because now it's like, moms is out on dope, she in the streets, brothers and sisters is out here in foster care and all that. I gotta go get some money. I gotta go do something so one day I could be able to get my family back together to where, you know what I mean, they ain't gotta be dealing with all these other people and all these other folks like as if they people and that's the only love they got when they really gotta love at home.
Sheesh, man. That has to be tough. Had to be tough.
Yeah, for sure.
To even
as a
that
young dude,
age.
And being young and just in the midst of trying to figure out what I'm trying to do and becoming my own person. Yeah, it was pretty tough, but shit, we got through it. We here today.
You here today. You know what I'm saying? Talk to. Now, where were there signs? What were the signs when you feel like your life was shifting? Like, did you see any signs before your life took a shift?
Like, as it was transitioning and shifting and stuff, I feel like anger, it was coming more angry about just little stuff that would not make you as mad at first, growing up, stuff that you feel like you had brushed off, whatever. You was kind of pressing that shit, you know what I mean? Like, nah, I'm taking that serious, or the smallest little thing, you would just flip out. It was just anger coming from somewhere that just took a sudden just burst inside of me, you know what I mean? That wasn't always there. And it was like, trying to bottle it in and trying to keep a smile. And you know how I am. I'm real smooth, real cool. People can't say it. They just seen got a character too many times, But on the inside, just battling that so much, you know what I mean? I'm putting on this mask every day to just get out here and get by. Yeah, for sure.
Sheesh, that putting on that mask to get by ain't easy either, my nigga. So I salute you for that for sure. When did winning look like? What did winning look like back then for you?
Like when, like back on the
back around that, that age.
See, winning back then looked like that to me was a different era. We start going down the wrong path, choosing games and choosing this other little bullshit that really didn't amount to nothing, but that's all we knew and we looked up to it. So, the dope dealers, the niggas that was hustling and, in the streets with who had all the girls, you know what I mean, all the money, the cars, the jury, that's what it looked like winning to me back then. That time, you know what I mean? That's what it looked like winning growing up into my 20s, into recent years, just really having to just sit back and realize, like, that ain't what, that looked like winning, but that's not necessarily just winning. That's just what we was just the image that we was taught at a young age, coming from the hood, coming from the streets, to think that that's what a successful person was.
Supposed to look like.
That's what we were supposed to look like, being young and black. We were supposed to look like a drug dealer or, a convict or something that didn't make it. But growing up now and seeing and having a son that's going through it, my son's 15, so I'll be trying to show him, a different image of what, when it looks like versus, what we were told and what we looked up to. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. We can't have them going down
the same path, what I mean? We got to try to, stop it and, correct where that gap was, where we missed, what I mean? I don't feel like it's enough young black men, mid-20s, like early 30s, mid-30s, early 40s that's just there to, like, show them that it's something different that y'all could be doing to be winning out here. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Who were you before everything changed? Like, but in that era, before you seen your life make a shift, who do you feel like you were? How would you identify yourself?
I still say I was, I was Shado. I was still a playful, goofy, funny, you know what I mean?
Laid back,
charismatic, being able to talk, player, ladies, type of guy. You know what I mean? Same thing, smelling big, looking good, I feel like I was like that still. I feel like before all the change, I do feel like my morals and my intact was pretty much the same
The same.
as I kind of grew up through all the midst of high school and all the bullshit that was going on. I tried to make sure I kept that the same.
Maintain
Yeah,
the
maintain
mom.
that same person. Yeah. But that's another thing I was wanting to say. Like, like me, and not to toot my own horn, but I know it ain't as easy for everybody to just do that. You know what I mean? To be able to just go through so much shit at home and still put on a smile, still try to look your best, still try to like put good energy out there in the world that is better than what than what my circumstances are right now at home. So I've always been big on that, like trying to hide and tell them what I'm going through to make sure a friend or even an associate is going better, worrying about their problems before I even talk about
My
mine.
own problem.
Exactly.
One of them.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just what you having to intake all what you have at a young age. It's always them people.
Yep, exactly. So you talk to be a counselor, to be a mentor, to talk about everybody else's feeling, to get to your own feelings because you don't feel like there's nobody for you to talk to. You find peace in it after so long. You find peace in helping other people and talking to them about their situations and trying to do that. But you can't never forget that you're a human too. You got feelings. You got, all types of stuff that's going on with yourself. And I feel like we done lost a lot of big time whales for that situation, just not being able to feel like they can voice their opinion, had nobody to talk to.
Nobody to talk to.
Yep, for sure.
Now, we're going to dive into a little bit of, just life struggles, things that happen in life, things of that nature. What fell apart first when you feel like you lost everything?
See, that'll come from like for me, just my personal stuff. Like not talking about like a childhood and kids or something. You talking about like just me. Just me as I got older and stuff like that.
Yes.
I feel like
as like in this era now.
Yeah, like right now. Man, it had to be like things that fell apart first is really like when shit is like a transition to where things just changed the most for me out of everything in life would be like in 2020. You know what I mean? January 2nd, when I lost my brother. You know what I mean? When I lost Craze, R.I.P. Craze, George Miles Kirksey, that was my best friend. You know what I mean? And when that happened, like life, and ever since it's kind of been like a big blur. Everything's just been kind of just going in like a big ass circle. And it ain't been time for me to just sit back and just reflect on it like how I'm trying to do now in more recent days and trying to go head towards it instead of trying to run away from it, keeping myself so occupied and busy that I'm not even thinking about it. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's real. And like, we just passed the 6th year for this stuff. And it's like, damn, when you look back on it, it's like 6 years and I already passed that fast. And life has just been going on just quickly and quickly. And even just since then, it's been so much more that didn't happen. But that's when I really say like things didn't really change from like the inside. For me being an adult, like was right then.
Yeah. Do you feel like, with that just playing a big part, do you feel like that you even got to grieve properly?
And then, hell no.
Yeah.
No, definitely didn't, especially not during them times.
Yeah.
Life was going on so fast. I was in and out of Texas, making money, doing what I got to do to keep the bills paid. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's just like you never get time to just sit back and just cope with it, and just go through it. And when I say instead of coping, I should use a different word. But we just never just got a chance to just like to endure that pain and just let it just go through. I feel like we was always taught to just keep on going. It was rent due, it was a bill due, it was a birthday due, it was Christmas, it was this. I mean, it's always something as we grow older. So we never really have time, like as we did before, to just really sit back and be like, damn, this is how I'm really feeling about this. So I do feel like it was constantly just stuff going on after that just kept to where we are now. It seemed like when I sit back and think about it, it seemed like the stuff just happened yesterday, last week. When you think about like the pain and how I still feel, just feel like it was still so fresh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We never just got to just really just go through it, just feel it. Like, I be feeling that all the time, especially in my, my more recent days since I've been back, around here a little bit. I've been really thinking about them even more like, damn, I wish me and bro could have did this together. We always talked about accomplishing so many different
Yeah.
things, and you know the type of person George was. He was so artistic and
Yeah.
just, you know, a leader, just a amazing person. To where when you just don't even think about all the plans and stuff that just got cut short because his life was taken at such a young age. You know what I mean?
Man, I hear you, bro, on that for sure.
Yeah.
Now I heard you say you know, since you been back, so you back
Yeah,
to
I'm back.
Kansas.
I'm back in Kansas right now.
You
I
know,
don't know how long
for
y'all
now.
gonna get a
For
piece
now.
of it. I'm always gonna. After this time, I do feel like since I've been gone, as I look back, like I wasn't involved in my city as much as I should have been. Because, you know what I mean? A lot of people don't even know who they really talking to right now because I just, you know, I'm real low key. I didn't just put it out there like, you know, I'm this person, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. But now, even when I do leave, because I don't feel like I'm gonna be here forever, I always want to have a foot in Kansas, you know, especially young black men. You know what I mean? I want them to know that they got somebody they can look up to, that believes in them, that understands that, you know, shit happens, you know, and that you're not fighting this battle alone more than anything. Because I don't feel like I had that person that just tell me that, you know. But
just having somebody relatable too.
To relate.
I feel like these kids these days, that's what they need, even in the schools and the, you know, the programs, basketball, sports, any, you know, just all around. They have to have somebody relatable.
Exactly.
Because you got them rebellious kids. You might have the corporate people that's doing shit by the book. You know where I'm going with it. But you got somebody that's been through some shit and they more relatable to that kid. They pull the best out of them kids.
Exactly. And, you know, they could make a kid do a U-turn, too. A kid could be heading down a dark path with somebody like myself and some of my brothers that I know that could, you know, step up and be along this fight with me. We could change lives.
Absolutely.
And that's, you know, the message I'm trying to put out there is like, man, you don't have to sell the drugs. You don't got to look up to the person that's only with the, you know, in the streets and getting the money. Like, yeah, we all come from the streets. I'll never take that away from nobody, but that ain't where we trying to stay. You know, our goal is to be in corporate businesses, owning businesses, starting, you know, entrepreneurship, whatever you want to do. And knowing that I can say this stuff and I'm not looking up as being corny, as a square, or somebody that's not accepted where I come from. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that was a big thing too. We got a lot of talented people, but it was just nervous about, am I going to get laughed at? Am I going to be accepted if I want to do something different? So, you know, just stepping up for them as well, just letting them know, you know, embrace that shit, talk about it, and you know what I mean? It's like-minded people in here. And we come from a place, man, there's so much talent in Kansas. There's so much talent here and so many people that I feel like it's slept upon, but it's like we just haven't found that unity yet. So we're coming together to figure out, you know, how we could tear down those barriers and make our next move our best move, you know.
I feel like once that community come harder, it'll be more kids that turn out better.
Successful. It'd be a whole different level, not just on sports level. I'm talking about on mentally, on every level, exactly. You know what I mean? I think that's what the city is needing right now. I think we need some type of seminar, some type of something as a whole to where the kids, the black community can come together and don't feel like they, you know, look down upon. They can kind of bounce ideas off of each other and stuff.
You know, I agree with that. Now, jumping into you being back here, what did moving back home feel like for you when you have to come back home?
Ooh, it was a ton of just different feelings, you know what I mean? It was a lot just coming back home. You always feel like, man, am I going backwards? Am I failing? You know what I mean? Because especially when you get to a certain level of success, it's like you just feel like kind of embarrassed a little bit. You know, you kind of feel like, I don't want to show myself around here like that. Like, man, I feel like I didn't surpass the state, the city. You know, I see what's going on. I see what they had to offer me. And I left and became hella successful in what I was doing. And now I'm back here.
Now you're back.
So I know, you know, we know where we come from. We come from a town that whispers and talks a lot without saying nothing. The whispers is going around. What's Shado doing back here? You know, so it was a lot to deal with at first. But I dealt with it head on. I didn't go hiding there trying to hide what I've been through or what's going on. Like I know, you know, some people would do. It's like, I'm here. I'm gonna make the most of it. And I'm gonna figure out, you know, what's next for me. But, you know, it's like you never stop learning. You never start living. And I feel like then every 10 years you damn near become a new person.
Hello, talk to
You know what I mean? Like you become a new person. So like I'm looking at it as like a challenge. You know, like okay, you know, I know what I done conquered already, and now you know I had to get knocked down a few levels to to get me back humble. That's what I feel like. It was a little slice of the humble pie. But like, okay, what's up now? What you about to do now? What you about to show the world? What you about to show yourself?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What you about to show yourself or to let you know that this ain't over. Like, it's just a chapter in your story and just keep on, living. Because it's already written in stone. We just here to just live it out.
Yeah.
So that's how I looked at for me. So now I was like, okay, everything good. Let me get out here. Let me get to talking. Let me get to showing my face. Let them hear my voice. Know what I got to offer. So, that's where I'm at now.
I feel like setbacks are never a bad thing.
Yeah.
They just lessons learned, because when that bounce back comes bouncing back,
you know what I'm saying? So good, it be feeling good, sis.
I'm trying to tell you.
Back, it be a hell of a feeling. You should see their faces too.
They be mad, angry. They wanted you to fall.
You can't give them that jerk. You can't let them get that power over you, man. You can't let them have it. So just keep on grinding. So that's what my main, focus been down. Just keep looking at myself, writing down my goals, what I'm looking forward to coming forward, and just trying to take it one day at a time, becoming a better person.
I'm glad you said writing them down.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Oh, man, because that's big. They don't understand how big it is to write down your goals and what you believe, and just your thoughts in general. Just writing them down. I journal. I got a journal. I'm not writing all types of stuff in my journal. Yeah, for sure, sis. Just writing them thoughts down and just being able to just, speak to yourself on paper and look back at it within a year, 6 months, 5 months, and just see, where you at from when you first was thinking these thoughts. How things have changed since then. So,
and I just think that it's like a track record to keep yourself in a mindset, being more disciplined too, but at the same time, it just gives you that track record to say, damn, I have made it that far from. And it just wants you to keep. It makes you want to keep going.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially when you're going through some bad stuff and you feeling like it's the end, and you just write it down, and then you go through 6 months and 8 months, you just crack it back up, and you're able to just say like, damn, I thought it was a time where I wasn't gonna get past this situation. Now, look at me. And that don't always come in a financial standpoint.
Yeah,
it could be in all types of other areas. So. It's always good just to write down everything. The stuff that you don't even think is that important. If it came to your mind, jot it down a little bit. Circle back up on it. It might, be a hidden message waiting for you, to capitalize off of.
Yeah.
If you didn't write it, you might not, go back to that, even thought of it again. So
if you don't write it down, it's scattered.
It scatters. The brain scatters. Yeah, exactly.
Think about how much things we think of on a daily, and I'm thinking, this is my goal. I want to do this. I want to be better with this. In your mind, absolutely not.
You could be thinking that, and somebody cut you over right in front. Now you hunking, motherfucker. That thought is gone. Shit, you think about some whole other shit now. You know what I mean? So for sure. I feel you on that, sis, on everything. That's real. Yep. So I'm big on that for sure, though.
I'm glad to hear. That made me smile, y'all.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, did you feel more when you had to come back home? Did you feel like it was more of a failure or just a reset?
See, I felt like at first, it was kind of a failure. You know what I mean? Just being all honest, I felt like I was, defeated. I feel like it was bad for me, and I was going down. Man, you can ask all my brothers. They was telling me like, man, Shado, I don't know what's going on with this, and you acting unlike yourself, And it was really just me just being upset with myself and just having to be there. But then I had to, like I said, think like how you just said, it's just a reset. Just get my mind back focused, Like this shit is within, And you can't win if you ain't right within. You know what I mean? So I just took it as a learning experience. I'm going through it, So now it's just getting it back how it was before how I got how it is.
Yeah. I can dig it.
Yeah,
I can dig it.
For sure.
Now, how do you feel like people received you when you came back?
Those closest to me, I feel like, they was down with me. But then I feel like the ones that just knew of me, don't really know me, just see me on social media and stuff. It was more like some, damn, what's going on? What he going through? Is he broke? Does he got everything still? Like, what's going on? Like, he ain't been here in like 7, 8 years, And now he's just here first it probably just seemed like, oh, he just coming, because I come always throughout the weekend, throughout the year, because my son lives here. But just to see my face all the time, man, I was like, well, damn, what really what he got going on? You know, and that's what it is. And right now, it's just like, shit, me trying to figure out myself, what is my next, for real, best move I want to do. I know I got a lot of thoughts. I got a lot of ideas. I want to do this. I want to do that. But it's like press and play on all this stuff. You know what I mean? Instead of just letting it just be a thought. Like really just trying to figure out, like, what do you want to do with yourself? So, you know, and right now, I feel like what I'm doing right now, you know, talking, getting my voice out, letting them know, like, you're not alone in this shit. Like, if stuff happens, it's the first step to that. You know what I mean? And feel good sitting here talking with you, being that vibe. I like this shit. So I'm liking the way the new year's starting off, and we gonna, you know, keep on grinding.
Just the thing about putting your voice out there when it's authentic and a true story, that's why I relate to true stories only. You feel me what I'm saying? Because you could be feeling everything, the pain, the struggle, with everything that you're going through, but you don't even realize you expressing that. Somebody in the back like, damn, you know, excuse my language, but you helping them pull through something similar. It might not be exactly the same situation, but you helping them pull through because it's similar.
It's similar.
And I never realized that.
And that's big. And you're right, sis. And our voices, we think, because that be the selfish manner of things, because you really only think about yourself in that situation. So you do keep it, but you're right. When you speak it out, you don't know who's going through something that just needs exactly what you're saying to help them get through their day. Who had that knife in their hand, that gun in their hand, they stumbled across your video or whatnot, and it just made them put it down, made them think twice about it. So, you know, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help reach out to prevent, you know, more bad shit happening, especially, like I said, with our, you know, black community, black males. I feel like, you know, death and suicide and a lot of other things just been going on a lot. I just want to, you know, let them know that they're not here alone.
They're not, absolutely. And each individual, that's why I like the fact that you came and you spoke and you know, you put it out there, because these kids, like I said, they need relatable people. So the more these kids see people that they can relate to, and I'm not talking about, it be the kids that, you know, may not have structure at home, but then it can be the kids that have structure at home that's not comfortable with talking to their parents. But Uncle Shaw, I'll Uncle Shaw. I'm talking. I'll get comfortable talk to Uncle Shaw. You get where I'm going with it? Like, but I'm not comfortable with talking to my parents, not because they're a bad parent, not because they're not doing their job, but you're just not comfortable talking to them for whatever reason, you know. But I see Uncle Shaw and I can feel him and I can relate to him. Maybe he'll understand me. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm nervous. I don't want to talk because I don't know how I look. That's why I'm putting it out there. No, come talk to me. Come rap with me. I got a mind full of, you know, I'm not the oldest, but shit, I got a mind full of wisdom from my years that I have been here and experiences. So, you know, I'm nothing but open to express them and explain them to them, to share them with them, and try to make, you know,
make them better
people. Yeah, for sure. You know.
Who were you before survival mode kicked in?
See, my grandma raised me, so I was really raised around just pure love. She was super, like, just thought the world of me. About everybody who she really came with, it was just nothing but just pure love. So I really do feel like I was raised around a loving woman that just gave me so much patience and understanding. So it kind of make it really, with women, with me, hard, because it's so hard to find like that type of woman like that my grandma was. But that was just hella just all the way down with me. So, you know, I feel like the person before survival mode was just a really gentle, soft, you know, loving person. You know what I mean? That understood what loving was, that had morals and respect. Because, like I said, I was raised by an older woman, so, you know, I knew to hold the door open for my older people and say yes, thank you, and no, thank you. You know, ma'am and sir. You know, situations like that. I feel like it gave me, you know, its standpoint. It made me the person who I am today. You know, the deep down core values and morals she installed in me. So,
do you feel like they coming back harder?
I feel like they come back harder. Yep, exactly. And
I always say this, bro. I always say this because people like, kids is gonna grow up and do what they want to do anyway. I always say they're always gonna go back to their roots.
Yep.
Always. I don't care if it's 40 years old. They're gonna go back to them roots and what they was taught.
Exactly.
And you just proved that to me.
No, and I never looked at it like that until you just said that. But no, that's exactly right. It's like you know it's installed in you, and then you go through whatever rebellious stages or whatever life is going to do. But as you grow older and you realize it, that wisdom and what you was taught is going to come back to you. Especially if you was taught some right stuff. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna be. It's in you. It ain't on you. So you know what I mean. It's just gonna keep on coming out. And I do feel like that's the stage where I'm at right now. Is that I feel like a lot more wiser and a lot more patient than what I've been in
That's a
recent
good
years.
thing. I'm glad to hear that, man. I am. Now we're gonna hop into a little bit of accountability and growth. Just pick your brain there. What habits are you unlearning?
What habits am I unlearning? I'm unlearning. I stop always feeling like I'm right about everything. You know what I mean? And I don't know if that's a habit more or is that just like a way of thinking, but it's just like sitting back and like listening before I always want to speak. Listening for understanding instead of just listening to respond. And I feel like a lot of people have that bad. They listening because they want to say what they want to say. They want to get off their chest what they feel like is right before they just listening to what another person's saying and taking it, receiving it, and then responding off of it,
Yeah.
So I'm really trying to get myself better at that, not thinking I'm always right, having to have the last word. You know what I mean? Just listening more than I'm talking.
Then you talk. Yeah. I think that's all people though, especially when you've been a person that had to make calls about everything. So I'm gonna be a little bit more of that honcho person that feels like I'm right because I've always had to be the person to guide everything.
Right. And when you become successful, and when you see that what I didn't say didn't work. So shit, why would I, it didn't got me to tear down and cross, out of the country, different seas and different, places. So what do I need to listen to? You get to that thinking like that. Shit, I done seen 6 figures. I done seen crazy, man. I'm like, what the fuck? Y'all need to be listening to me. It kind of puts you in that point, but like, you can learn something from a baby. You can learn something from a drunk person. You can learn something from everybody if you just sit back and really listen instead of just always wanting to just feel like you know everything. So I feel like that's, something I had to, figure out, just sitting back, listening before I wanted to talk so much, And I feel like it helped me a lot, within this last year, especially just listening and realizing like, okay, like, well, damn, I hear what you're saying. I hear you. Like, you're right. I wouldn't have thought about it like that. I appreciate you, because you can learn a lot doing that versus, always feeling like what you know is the best.
It all. Yeah. Live and you learn. My uncle always taught me that. Shout out to Uncle Lance.
Yeah, Big Lance.
He's sharp, man. He keep me sharp. He always told me, the talker ain't gonna never get far. You always think you know it all, over talking everything, and you're not that person that sit back and just sometimes just listen. Just be quiet and listen, observe, listen. You will learn a lot more.
Man, you know what they say? They say you got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. You know what I mean? Supposed to listen twice as long as you talk. So
I agree.
Feel like that's real.
I agree, especially as we get older. I understand it more than when I was younger. For sure.
Yeah. We always feel like we knew it all, but now we getting older, you get wiser, you get to being like, okay, you be fiending for a little bit more information if you're smart,
Who holds you accountable? Do you have a person that holds you accountable, or you kind of just like depending on yourself to hold you accountable?
Nah, I feel like I got a couple people that's really in my corner that hold me accountable for a lot of my actions. Like, my son, baby Shado, he's big. He don't know how powerful he really is. He my biggest one. Like, he holds me accountable. He looks at his dad on such a giraffe level, to where it's like, man, it makes you think twice. Like, man, I gotta stay on it. You know what I mean? And I got strong, powerful friends in the community too. Like I said, in Cash, you know what I mean? And Marquise Bradley, Coach E's, that's another one of my good friends. And they hold me accountable. They hold me like to a standard because they know who I really am and what, how powerful I am as a person, and these are other powerful people too, like like-minded people,
Absolutely.
like we like the Avengers, like we like a dream team, you know what I mean? We come together, and it's like when you got like-minded people like that, that's telling them like, I'm gonna be good regardless, but I can be so much stronger with you apart.
Unity.
You know what I mean? And it's real. It's like, okay, you're right. Like, let me stop this self-pity shit and really lock you in and be like, you one of them. You're a boss. You're chosen one. So like, get back to yourself. Get back to doing what you're supposed to do. So like, those people really do. I feel like hold me accountable for my actions, and it's very appreciated. It's good having them type of people in your corner.
Yes, absolutely. Have you outgrown certain people or spaces?
Yes. Like what the Nip saying in the interviews, like that gap gets to shrinking. As you get to growing, you get older. It's like it's going to either be they gonna come up here, or you gonna lower yourself down. But at some point, that gap is gonna keep closing. So you know what I mean. You gotta outgrow situations, outgrow friends, outgrow your previous self. You know what I mean, and not looking for having a reason more than that. I want better of a reason to let go of that stuff, because we all know we play tug of war and we keep doing this. At some point in time, our hands is gonna get so much red and so tore up. Versus if you just let go of the goddamn thing, and how much release it'll feel to yourself. Yeah, you want to hold on to so much dead weight and stuff that just no longer serves a meaning in you, because that's what you're comfortable with, and what comfortability is where growth and dreams die. Is where you're most comfortable at. So in order to to grow, to move forward, sometimes you gotta let go. You know what I mean? Separation. Get uncomfortable to get elevation. You gotta separate to elevate.
Talk to him now. Talk to him now. Get uncomfortable. That's why I tell people, get uncomfortable. Quick and cozy in them sheets.
Yeah, you twirling your toes. You blanket up and shit. Sometimes you gotta get uncomfortable. You gotta get down to the nitty gritty. You gotta get real.
Real spill.
Right. No, for real, sis. That's real. You got to. So and when that comes, you gotta let go. Some people, everybody can't come.
Everybody can't come.
That's family. That's people that you always thought that would be there from the beginning. But
it don't always work out that way.
Like that, And it's just you gotta be willing to pay attention to the signs and react accordingly.
Straight up.
Yep, you gotta do it.
Now, what does winning to you look like now? Now, when I'm saying now, your present, right here, your physical.
Okay, no, that's for sure. That's big. See, winning today, I would say winning to me is, your mind, your family, and your spirit being all within like a healthier place. Like, and what I mean by that is like, it's not all about money right now to me. Like, I don't feel like, of course, money is, it's there, but like, just being able to physically, like, be able to be present, to understand, like, who you are, feel like this is me and I'm unapologetically about it. Like, this is me, I'm myself. You can love it, you can hate it, whatever. This is me, and I'm gonna do whatever I need to do to help the people around me and help the community who I feel like needs me. You know what I mean? A person that's able to like not put themselves first, but put whatever they got, their people first, and what the situations is, that's winning right now to me. You know what I mean? To me. Yeah. And everybody's winning is different. Yeah. Everybody's winning is different. Person that has something to look forward to every day. A person has a career, whatever you do, but you're looking forward to it every single day. That's winning. Not, fuck, I gotta go to work. Yeah. God damn, man, I gotta go do this shit again. Yeah. But like, you look forward to it. Yeah. You wake up in the morning, that alarm is going off. You beating it to it. You know what I mean? You up, you looking in the morning, you smiling, you getting yourself going, you drinking your coffee, you smoking whatever it is that you do to get yourself going. Yeah. You doing it. You smiling, you feeling good about yourself. You winning. And people that's doing that is not necessarily the richest people.
Pure happiness.
Yeah, they just happy. You know what I mean? Being happy with it, not necessarily content, but like okay with like, this is what I'm okay with. I don't gotta even though if I did once think that this was the coolest shit in the world to do, or this is the only way of winning, I'm okay with being like, that ain't. This is winning to me now. And if you fucking with me, then this is what my winning gonna look like. So either you with me or you not. But I ain't about to let your input on what you think winning rub off on me and make me feel like I'm not winning. I'm tripping. Or I done lost it or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, nah, winning is in everybody's eyes can be a little bit different. So you gotta look at what fits winning to your eyes, you know, and embrace it. And keep on trying to keep on trying to get to that, because you know Rome wasn't built overnight. It's gonna take time, but just keep on knocking down them barriers, keep on knocking down them walls, jumping over them hurdles to where it's like, you know what, I'm happy. You know, I'm happy with the person I am today. You know what I mean? That's winning. That is winning message. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's winning. That just made me think of something, bro, because I was watching this video. And it was these African kids, and they was just jamming. I'm talking about Michael Jackson songs, all the old school songs. And you can just tell in their face, like they didn't have it all, you know, just picture African kids that don't have nothing, what they wearing, how they living, what they eating. But them kids look like they was the happiest kids on earth. And I said, dang, it really like set into me like, it's not about what you have to make you happy. I think in this day and age, people find stuff to feel like that's gonna make them happy. It could be a relationship, it could be materialistic things, you know, a habit. Trying to find that happiness when, like you said, it's within you. It's within. Yeah, no, that's big, sis. You're right. You're right. And that's the thing about social media that is getting bigger. Like how you just said, you stumble across that video and you seen it, and it was like, damn, like this, they look happy, like purity, they look happy, you know. And that's why I want to get myself out there to maybe, you know, get our voice out there, let them see us. Because that could be somebody else's, you know, little tunnel and beginning to happiness. It's just someone across this short video of us. Straight up. Yeah. Now we're going to dive in just a couple more questions with purpose. Okay. Now, what emotional patterns do you refuse to pass down? That. Like the emotional pattern I refuse to pass down is like this shit with like drugs, you know, like feeling like you gotta cope with it, like being high or drunk, you know what I mean? Off some pills, off some drink, like I don't want to pass that down. Numbing it, you know, numbing it with drugs and stuff like that. And I feel like I did a good job. Like my son, he ain't on none of that shit. But you know, I mean, as parents, we all say that, but like I could honestly for real feel like the friends and the type of person he is, that like he's a different kid than what I was. You know, I grew up really seeing hard drugs, hard liquor, hard fiends, and everyday life. So you knew it. That's all I knew. Yeah. So like, as you get older, you know, I'm smoking bud. I'm doing this shit at a young age. I'm talking about 9, 8, 9, 10 years old already smoking. By the time 12, 13, we already in the streets. You know what I mean? So it was like you just use it as like a little coping point, you know, feeling like, and that's not, and don't get it wrong, like it ain't all bad. It's into where like sometimes the people that we was with, we was all we really had, so it was kind of okay because we was together and we really feel like we didn't have that at all. You know, mom's is on drugs or pops is locked up in the joint. You know, grandma trying her hardest or whatever. It's a group of people, your young friends, and y'all come together and it's like y'all able to like help each other cope through this shit. You know what I mean? I feel like it's just different ways now that I try to push out there to where you don't have to be the ones to join the gang or smoke or pick up a bottle to feel like these are the only ways to cope with this stuff. At all. Yeah, and that needs to be pushed to the maximum capacity in our community, especially with these new age kids, because it's easy to fall in that loophole of numbing. Exactly. And then you don't want to speak about stuff. Now that turns into a problem. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And then now also the drugs is a lot different. Just fentanyl, you know, it's taking the lives of so many. You know what I mean? It don't have a face. It don't have a race. It doesn't have nothing. It's just, it don't care who you are. No, and, absolutely you know, don't. Playing Russian roulette. These kids ain't realizing that, and they really taking these pills or, you know, doing however they do it and dying off of this shit. You know. So I really feel letting them know that, man, that, you know, fentanyl ain't it. Hell no to fentanyl.
Yeah, you know, we ain't doing that over here. No, say no to fentanyl,
say
kids.
No. You know what I mean?
For real.
Straight up. Like, you know, you ain't gotta feel like you gotta cope with drugs. That's what I feel like I'm refusing to pass down trauma wise. Like,
Okay.
You know, yeah.
Now I want you to let the people know bluntly, how do you want your story to help others? Like, how do you, when the audience is watching this, how do you want this to help them?
I want them to help them by letting them know that, like, you looking at somebody and seeing the highest of the highest and the lowest of the lowest, and I'm still here and I'm still fighting and I'm still trying. You know what I mean? So use this to know, like, everything is gonna get better. It's gonna get better. You know what I mean? At some point in time, things ain't gonna stay the same. So just stay down, stay believing in, say, you know, giving yourself grace and the chance to grow. You know what I mean? And not being so hard on yourself, thinking that you just don't got it all figured out yet, that you never will. Or, why me? Why me? Why me? Why this? Why this? This, like, don't get into that. Just keep on just focusing on every single day, taking it one day at a time and bettering yourself. And, like, you know, try to ask God for understanding on what you could do to make your life easier, to make you happier. You know what I mean? And that's what I wanted, you know, to do. Like, give out to just show that I'm still here, I'm still smiling, I'm still looking good.
You know what I'm saying?
Still all of this, still hotter, put her up, you know, because, you know, I'm still him. I'm still Shado baby, you know.
Put her up.
And it ain't over with for me, you know. So shit, beware.
I know that's right, kid. All right, bro, go ahead and let them know where they can find you on social media.
Well, you can find me on Instagram. You know what I mean? My Instagram is Shado, Shado, and Shado Baby on Snapchat. But I'm really heavy on IG. That's really where, you know, the platform I'm mostly at right there. So tap in. We got more stuff coming ahead.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to just leave this message here. You know, the beauty is in the journey, but you got to get through it to get through it. And we're going to catch y'all on the flip side.
Amen. Let's get it.
Everything that God put me through, everything I gotta work for it. I've been through so many ups and downs and I'm still going. Everything that God put me through, I was built for it.